Radioactiva, el planeta rock, acompañándolos desde el Festival Stereo Picnic con una de las mejores agrupaciones del festival. Lo hemos dicho, presentaron un disco absolutamente fabuloso que tuvo número 1 en Radioactiva. Con ustedes, Nothing But Thieves. Guys, welcome to Radioactiva. So excited to have you with us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
How was the crowd? First time in Colombia. I just saw the show. I know you guys, appreciate everybody being there, but it's a whole different thing once you come down stage, I guess.
Honestly, we chat on the talkback mic. We were just so pleasantly surprised at how kind of nuts everyone was and how many people were there. You never expect anything the first time you're playing somewhere, but it was more than we expected, far more, I think.
I love to hear that. Many musicians usually complain about the altitude, and the singing. I was impressed you could reach those notes.
Well, we have been in the mountains for a few days. We were in Chile before, and then we've been here for about 4 days. And I think we've just adjusted. Yesterday, Dom and I went to the botanical gardens, and we were puffing around, just looking at flowers, just like. It was hard work yesterday, so I'm glad we had the altitude. I think we had altitude sickness yesterday, but today it was more than I expected. It was better. I thought I'd be puffing a lot, but I think it was good, wasn't it?
Yes. How was it for you, Dom?
Yeah, easy.
Look, since I know it's been some time since the release of Welcome to the DCC and the whole record, of course. I wanted to ask you guys: is this a concept record?
It is.
Yeah, it is. And actually, I think one of the reasons behind it was I think we'd written 3 records prior to this and we were trying to find a way to shake it up a little bit. And it might be a bit cliche for a rock band to maybe do a concept record, but I think if you do it in a certain way, maybe it can give you a different perspective on how you create an album and what you write about and how you write about it. So it actually opened a lot of doors for us creatively, I think.
But you don't usually expect, with the current state of the industry, to a rock band decide to develop a concept record, It has to make sense, go through the first track to the last, It has a sequence of songs. So, the whole concept of it's different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the UK, we know a few bands that have done concepts. I don't know if it's maybe the subtler or but it's more common than we thought. And for us, I don't think we overly thought about it. We weren't like, we have to do the concept. It was simply like, it was at the start when we started writing it. It was a tool. Quite a practical tool we were using to get out of our heads, get out of moral panic era, because we were in that era for so long. Because the pandemic paused life, and we were still in a way stuck in that moral panic world. So it was a really good style and tool of writing, and then it kind of opened up so much. It made us a bit more free with our musical choices, our what we were going to do, the styles of vocals, lots of stuff. It just made us a bit freer with our choices, which is great.
Overcome was number 1 in Radioactiva.
Sick,
honestly, and the last time we spoke, we were talking about Is Everybody Going Crazy? We also had that song in heavy rotation on Radioactiva, and I can't help but wonder if somehow Overcome and the whole We Shall Overcome, as we've done before, it's some sort of complement from Is Everybody Going Crazy?
Yeah, I mean, when we did Is Everybody Going Crazy, that was weird serendipitous moment in time where the world was losing the plot as we released that song. It was strange. And again, I don't know if it's not an overthought to be like, we should write a song that now we've overcome the pandemic, but it wasn't like that. It was, it's its own personal song, but I'm glad it's reacting with people now. We have gone past those, that pause in time.
I also gotta ask a bit of a geek, so I don't know if I'm overthinking stuff, but who did the art for the record? Because I can't help but thinking of something like the Martian Chronicles or things like that, And once you see the show and the sun goes down, I can't help but think of that. Who did this?
So we were working very closely with an artist called Luke Brickett, and he is unbelievable. And we had like a load of references for these like 80s expo centres where they used to do these big events. But also we didn't want it to be too specific to a time and too specific to like a certain design where you could put your finger and go like, oh, that is in this country, or So, it has hints and elements of different places in the world and different timelines, and it is a bit ambiguous, but I think that's why it fits well with the music. And when we saw that, we knew it was right. But interestingly, not a lot of people know that it's actually a model that was built, and that's a photograph, which is crazy. It's not digitally drawn. It's a photograph, and we've superimposed the people on there. But that's how great our team are. They 3D printed this building and lit it up in a way, and it came out like that, and we were so proud of it. It's amazing.
Wow, I had no idea. I actually thought that was a digital design or something like that.
No, it's a photo taken on film of a model building that we had 3D printed.
I also think you guys have had an enormous evolution for a small discography, I guess you could say it. You know, I think from the early hits like Amsterdam and Trip Switch to what we just saw on stage is a huge evolution. How did the band sound at the beginning? I mean, when you start a band, you play covers. How was it at the beginning?
It was pretty bad. We were a pretty terrible band. I'll be honest with you. We tried to rip off all of our favourite bands, and at the time that might have been things like Kings of Leon or The Killers or Jeff Buckley or Radiohead. It was a real mixture of stuff, but we weren't good enough to even rip them off. But I think we tried, and we got better at writing songs. We would still play covers. We used to cover Radiohead. Was it Just? We used to do Led Zeppelin, just our favourites, because they were the best songs in the set, because our songs were so bad. And at least we could be a good karaoke band, you know. But we were very bad, and then I honestly think we probably spent 3 straight years trying to write better songs, and then slowly it got better, but it didn't happen overnight for sure.
Okay, how did you find your identity in your voice after those covers? I know you're a big Jeff Buckley fan, Nina Simone fan, but of course the band, the identity of the sounds so different. How do you find your identity there?
It's a good question. I guess, I have grown up on a lot of different styles of singing, mainly soul when I was a kid. But I had classical lessons, and I think the classical training and the breath work, it just naturally is going to made me sound different to rock vocals, because I wasn't good at the whole raspy thing, at the start. I've kind of taught myself how to do that a bit, but it was all operatic and a bit too over the top. But I think it's just a natural. It naturally sounds different. Me trying to do Nina Simone, but with my classical voice, it's always going to sound off. But so I guess we found our own lane, and I don't know, I'm insanely competitive and perfectionist with myself and with my vocals. We all are in our own field. And I just push myself each album. I'm like, oh, what can I do next? Or what can we find next? And Dom and I work very closely at what can we squeeze out next? And what's the next timbre? So it's fun. It's like using an instrument. We just have a laugh with it and don't overthink it. It's good.
What's next? Do you have anything in mind? I know it's soon, and I've seen the number for Deck Plus City in the UK. Awesome. Radio X always celebrates everything going on with Nothing But Thieves. So
yeah, we're very lucky with that. We're basically trying to play this record to anyone and everyone that will listen to it.
Okay.
The fact that we're able to get to South America, and especially to countries like Colombia that we've never ever been able to visit before, is really it's brought out the kids in us. It's made everything so exciting. And it's not just the shows, it's the culture. We don't get to experience things like that often. So yeah, it's really, really great. But we're going to play as many gigs as we can this year, and then next year, who knows? Maybe we'll write another record. Maybe we'll end the band and never speak again. World exclusive. The end. Yeah.
Okay, well, guys, thank you very much. It's a real pleasure having you with us in Radioacktiva.
Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you very much.
One thing, just out of curiosity, and Death Club City, the lead single, is the drums has this little thing that keeps reminding me of Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Is that right, or am I just
Yeah,
yeah.
Ding, ding, yeah.
Ding.
Yeah, that's
Robert Rock, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to know if that was just out of my mind, imagination.
No, you're right.
I
mean, the sounds of the drums are actually a bit more Phil Collins.
Oh, okay.
And actually, the drum machine is called a Linn drum, and it's like a 80s drum machine, or late 70s, I can't remember. But that ride cymbal, ding, 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 is that, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just was wondering about it. Well, thank you, guys.
Si.
And I'm holding the microphone for some reason.
Si.
Great, thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Hello, this is Conor and Dom from Nothing But Thieves, and you're listening to Radioacktiva, the rock planet.